63-year-old. So lot of possibility, but this is how, by looking at this date of birth, you are going to make your mind how you are going to proceed, where you are going to proceed, what kind of documentation you are going to. Now he is old, so he don't want to live on the bigger house, so he want to sell that and going to get a smaller home for him. So there could be different possibilities. So by just looking at the date of birth, this is how you are going to prepare your mind, what kind of documentation you are going to going to indulge with, and what kind of documentation could be in this file, right? So it looks very small, but here this is the first trigger that is going to give you a lot of information. Now we will look into the application. So officially we are going to start from today onwards the underwriting. How you going to do the underwriting, right? So when we used to say underwriting, there is a flow that you should learn, because when you are going to appear for an underwriting interview, the very first or second question is going to be, could you give me a walkthrough of how exactly you underwrite the file? So you cannot tell them how to calculate the income, but you exactly need to give them the clear flow. This is what I do first, this is what I do second, this is what the third, fourth and fifth, and this is how I conclude the file. So that is something you need to give them, right? So how you going to review? I'm going to give you my flow when I used to do underwriting, what is the flow I go through. You can make yours, right? You can as you feel comfortable. So first of all, I see let's say I'm starting with the file. How do I will proceed? So first of all, I will go thoroughly the loan application. What is loan application? That is URLA, Uniform Residential Loan Application, right? Means 1003. I will thoroughly go through this document. Right, I'm also giving you how exactly we are going to proceed with loan underwriting, right? So this is how. So first step, we will go through the loan application. The second, loan application, when I say loan application, it is not just one loan application, right? There are a lot of steps into it. There could be multiple loan applications. There could be borrower IDs, lot of information that we need to go through. There could be some disclosure that I need to check. So 1003 plus all initial loan application documents. The second step, I will go to and I will check credit, right? It is not only the credit report. Obviously, credit report also need to be checked. Credit means all the credit analysis, where taxes, your HOI, right? All the expenses, whatever that could be, divorce decree or any other document which brings the expenses to the borrowers. So all the expenses need to be checked. All the debts need to be checked, basically. Then we will move to the income section and we'll review the income. It could be any income, it could be multiple income sources, it could be employment, it could be self-employment, it could be business income, it could be retiree, it could be pension, it could be social security income, it could be seasonal income, any income. So we will review it. Then the next step is going to be the asset. Right, all the bank statements, investments, proceeds, sale proceeds, or wherever borrower can show us the assets. So those need to be checked. Then we will go to the property. Property, basically the appraisal document. It could include your purchase contract, it could include your valuation of the property, appraisal document, which is known as, or it could be title as well. So all the property related documents need to be checked here, right? Once appraisal is done, now we have reviewed all 4 C's: credit, income, asset, and appraisal. So all 4 C's are done. Now I'm good, because while reviewing, while calculating, while analyzing all these documentation, right, I will have a lot of questions as well as lot of conditions. Questions means conditions, which I think, right, need to have in the file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add conditions, whatever missing, it could be missing information, missing documentation, or additional supporting documents, anything. It could be anything, right? Conditions, and I need to decide whether I'm able to make my decision or not. So decision is going to happen on the three different phases. One, I'm not able to make the decision, so I will suspend the file. I will say no. These are the conditions which I need prior to approve this loan, right? So I will suspend the loan, right? If I'm good, so I can approve the loan, but there are certain conditions which require to be verified before sending this file to closing. I can approve with condition, right? Approved with condition. Or the third is, if I'm not able to suspend, I'm not able to approve or approve with condition, then obviously I will send it to denial, right? So these are the three basic, very basic, decision that we need to make in a file after going through all these documents based on these conditions. Conditions could be prior to approval, right? Then prior to doc, basically that is known as prior to closing, and then prior to funding, PTF, prior to funding. These are different conditions that we are going to add. Prior to approval is known as PTA, prior to doc is PTD, and prior to funding is PTF. These are the different conditions that we are going to add. We will, understand what exactly the function of them, which condition will be added at what stage, or with what purpose, right? So prior to approval, as the name itself telling prior to approval, means I'm not able to approve this loan. This is the documentation, or this is the information I require as an underwriter. Once I receive it, then only I will approve the loan. So that is prior to approval. Prior to document means I'm approving this loan with conditions. Loan is approved, but before doc means before closing, these documents should be in the file and need to be verified. Whoever processor is going to verify these documents, if they will approve or they will clear these conditions, then this loan could be closed, right? And then prior to funding, some of the documents could come even prior to funding. At the time of funding, those documents should be available in the file. Then only this file could be funded or the money could be disbursed, right? So those are going to be, there could be more. It's not only these are the three, but these are the very three basic conditions which every underwriter should have the knowledge. There could be sub conditions as well. There are the different stages which we might uh, discuss later. This is just an overview how we are going to proceed with our underwriting training. Are you guys with me or left?
No, sir. No questions in my mind.
So now we are going to start with loan applications. Okay. Uniform residential loan application. So this is the main application. Who is supposed to fill this application? Main borrower, the number one borrower, right? There will not be written anything. Main borrower, nothing. URLA, Uniform Residential Loan Application. Verify and complete the information on this application. If you are applying for this loan with others, means additional borrowers, each additional borrower must provide information as directed by your lender. So additional borrower means co-borrowers are also supposed to give us the information, but on the additional sheet, right? What is the additional sheet? Here is uniform. It is also written uniform residential loan application, but additional borrower. Now you can make out it is for the co-borrower, not the main application. In the main application, where main borrower is going to file this loan like this, there is nothing written here, right? Nothing, no additional borrower, nothing. But in the additional, how you can make out that whether this is borrower or co-borrower? Additional borrower is written, means this is the form for co-borrower. So co-borrower will fill information, his or her information in this form. Now the third is lender loan information, right? This uniform residential loan application, here is also written lender loan information. So there should not be any confusion. Here you will get all the lender loan information. What is the loan type? What is going to be the payment? What is going to be the closing cost? Whether borrower will receive cash or borrower will bring in to close this loan, bring in cash to close this loan. So all this information will be here in the lender sheet. So now we have seen three forms: main, URLA for additional borrower, and now for lender loan information. This is also part of 1003 only. If you can see at the bottom, you will see the Fannie Mae form number 3. Right here, you will see the Fannie Mae form number 3. Similarly, in the first borrower, you will see the forms are same. Only the information, in the old, we had everything all in one form. Now we have different forms for different information. That is the difference, right? Now I also told you, if your borrower is telling you, or any of the borrower is telling you unmarried here, if they are going to select this unmarried, right, option, if they are telling they are unmarried, they also need to fill an additional form, that is here, uniform residential loan application, same title but unmarried addendum. So means any of the borrower is unmarried, they are going to file this unmarried addendum. If your both borrowers are telling they are unmarried, they both have to fill this form. Okay, so first we will start with the loan application, that is the main application, and we'll understand what is the different information and how we are going to read it. So section 1, borrower information, right? The first name, here you can write here your first name, let's say any of the sample of borrower name, right? They are going to write here the sample name, right? Any alternative name. Social security number, do we know what is social security number? This is how the social security card, like very much similar to Aadhaar number in India, right? So social, it's a unique identity that is being given anyone who had the citizenship of US. Now, not only the people who are by birth citizens of US, but people who are, moving from other countries to US and they get a citizenship later, they will also be given the SSN number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's 9 digit. First will be the 3, in between 2 and last 4, right? Your name here, signature, because social security document only show the social security number and your name. That's it. Your name and your social security number. No date of birth, no place of birth, where you are currently living, no address, nothing. Only the number and your name. That's it. So for photo identity, it won't work. It will only be to show that yes, you have the social security number, and there are social security administration department where we can send the verification that whether this number belongs to this person or not. That is the only thing we need to check, the social security number, right? So that is what the social security number could be written here. Then date of birth. By looking at the date of birth, you can make out what kind of file this is going to be, what kind of documentation those are going to appear in the file, what you need to be get prepared for. How? Let's say I'm telling person date of birth is 01/02/2000. What we can make out? Okay, it's month, date, and year. That you already know that this is what the pattern of the US. Like in India, we used to write DD, MM, bye bye. They used to write always MM, DD, bye bye. So mean January 2nd, 2000. It is 2023. So that means this person is only 23 years old. Now you can make out 23-year-old person, what kind of income documentation, what kind of asset documentation are going to be there, what kind of credit report is going to be there, what kind of expenses going to be there. 23-year-old, there is a possibility that he could be first time home buyer. He never bought any home before. There is a possibility he could be a first time home buyer. He might have only 1 or 2 years of employment history, right? He could have a less asset, less money deposit, less deposits in the bank, right? And he could have also less than 2 years of employment. So you might need to ask what he was doing prior to that, and you might need his transcript, college transcript, that he need to show. that I was previously, pursuing this kind of education from this college and I got graduated from this college, right? But if so, that is how you can easily make out what all the documentation you require and how this file is going to behave, right? If this is going to be 19, let's say 80, now you can make out 43-year-old person. He will have a huge lot of credit cards. He could have a lot of loans. It could be his two, or he could have multiple properties, right? He could have multiple jobs or a job for more than 10, 20 years, right? He could have a business as well, his own business as well on a side by side, or he could be a businessman only, right? And he could have a good money, deposited into the banks. He could have children's dependent on him. He could be married. He could have a divorce. So lot of possibilities, right? But this is how you are going to imagine just at very top of the applications. You are making out what is going to happen in this file just by looking at this one date of birth. It is not that you will scribble through the entire file and then you will find. Here you are going to make your mind how you are going to underwrite, what kind of documentation it could be. There could be how you are going to prepare your mind going forward. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
This is going to be 1960. Now, person is